What if Harvey died and Rachel lived? What would have happened if Batman had attempted to save Harvey Dent and wound up saving Rachel Dawes instead of the other way around? Would Alfred still burn Rachel's letter, or would he give it to Bruce? Would Rachel respond to the trauma in a similar manner as Harvey did? Would Rachel forgive Bruce for failing to save Harvey? Would Rachel be able to love Bruce after Harvey is dead? And after all this, I have a bonus question at the end. Let's review what actually did happen in The Dark Knight. Joker tells Batman that Harvey is at 250 52nd Street and Rachel is at Avenue X. He'll only have time to save one of them. Batman tells Gordon he's going to save Rachel. Gordon and his officers go to save Harvey, but they find out that Joker had switched the addresses and Batman saved Harvey while Gordon arrived a minute too late and watched the explosion that cost Rachel her life. Meanwhile, Batman wasn't entirely successful in his efforts to save Harvey. He did get Harvey out in time, but he was covered in flammable liquid, and when the explosion happened, half of Harvey's face was destroyed. Harvey wakes up in a hospital, angry that Rachel is dead. He's angry at the mob, he's angry at Gordon, he's angry at Batman. He goes on a rampage for mob members and dirty cops, deciding who lives and dies by flipping a coin. He even targets himself at one point, flipping the same coin with the gun pointed at his own head. When Harvey falls to his death, Batman decides to take the blame for Harvey's crimes to keep his legacy intact, giving the Dent Act its teeth, as the mayor called it in The Dark Knight Rises. Now, what if Batman had made the opposite call and decided instead to save Harvey, which means that Harvey dies in the explosion, but Rachel lives? Would Alfred have still burned Rachel's letter? Or would he give it to Bruce? This one is fairly obvious. Alfred would have given the letter to Bruce. One, so Bruce understood that Rachel had made a decision and it wasn't him. And two, how bad would Alfred look when Rachel and Bruce talk? And the conversation takes a bad twist and Rachel says, "Didn't you read my letter?" Would Rachel respond to the trauma in a similar manner as Harvey did? I think her trauma would have been slightly different, as her face wouldn't be half burned off. Harvey's face wouldn't have been either if he hadn't fought his restraints and knocked over a barrel, landing his face in the flammable solution. Rachel didn't saturate half of her face in flammable liquid. Her scars would have been strictly psychological. I don't think she would have gone on a rampage. Harvey showed earlier in the film that he was already mentally unstable. In the scene where he's threatening lethal force on a former Arkham patient who is a paranoid schizophrenic. Yes, it's a trick coin, but Schiff didn't know that. It wasn't too surprising when Harvey went on his rampage after what he did to Schiff, even for the uninitiated who watched the movie with zero knowledge about Two-Face. If we watch Rachel through Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, she sees the line and never crosses it. She doesn't use violence unless necessary, like when she threatened her taser on the muggers when she got off the subway in Batman Begins, when she deployed her taser on Scarecrow, and when she kicked Joker in The Dark Knight. She never threatened violence in other circumstances. She believed in the criminal justice system and letting it work. Would her faith in the criminal justice system be broken if Harvey died in the explosion? There's a very good chance of it, but going on a murder rampage isn't something people do when they lose faith in the justice system. It's something they do when they've lost their moral compass, or perhaps as a result of mental illness, which leads me to my next point. In The Long Halloween, Harvey explains that his father is crazy, and he also implies that his father gave him his coin. I did another video explaining the parallels between Batman The Long Halloween and Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. I'll try to link it here. Since Nolan based a lot of his film's material on The Long Halloween, it makes me question if Harvey was perhaps genetically more inclined to go on his rampage, or maybe he learned certain behaviors from his father that transformed what he saw as appropriate social behavior. To be fair, Nolan created Rachel Dawes. She didn't appear in any comics before Batman Begins, so we don't have a precedent to compare her to like we do with Dent, but using the films alone, it appears that Rachel had a level head. Would Rachel have forgiven Bruce? Would she be able to love him since Harvey is dead? Here are my thoughts. If by forgiving you mean letting go, then yes, she would have forgiven him because, again, Rachel wasn't one to cross the line, but their relationship would have been forever altered. Either one, her faith in the criminal justice system would be so shattered that she would change her line of work. She might even leave Gotham and start over fresh somewhere else. In this case, she would probably cut Bruce Wayne out completely. Starting over fresh means cutting out memories, and Bruce Wayne is one big reminder of that horrific night. Or two, her passion for fighting crime would increase after the attack. She'd dig in and fight with renewed vigor. In this case, she'd remain in an uneasy alliance with the Caped Crusader. They'd be resources for each other to share information and catch criminals. However, in either case, I don't think Rachel would ever be able to love Bruce romantically after the explosion for one key reason. She would not be able to love someone who decided that someone else was worth saving more than her. Let's mull that over. If Bruce doesn't tell Rachel that he was trying to save Harvey but Joker switched the addresses, Gordon, or one of the several officers who were present, might tell her, then Bruce would be caught lying. Relationship over. Besides, Bruce was usually honest with her even if she wouldn't like what he said. Like in Batman Begins, when she wants Bruce to stay home during Joe Chill's trial, and he tells her that he needs to be present. He deceived her about the real reason he wanted to go, which was to shoot Chill, but he eventually came clean and Rachel slapped him. I think at that point, Rachel became a plumb line of sorts for Bruce. He must have trusted her a lot to let her know that he's Batman, and why would he be honest about being Batman and then lie to her later and ruin his credibility with her? No, Bruce would have told her the truth about how he actually tried to save Harvey instead of her. Maybe not right away. He'd give her time to process the trauma, but eventually he'd have to tell her, and then romantic possibilities are gone. Imagine how Rachel would feel if she was in a relationship with Bruce after all this craziness. She'd always be thinking, Bruce loves me and he's Batman, so he'll always try his best to save me, unless someone else is more important. Now for the bonus question. Why did Batman want to save Rachel instead of Harvey? Many people think it's because Bruce loved Rachel, and this 100% might be the reason. However, what if Batman saved Rachel because he saw Dent's true colors and how he threatened to kill Schiff unless he talked? Batman caught the coin and said everything would be undone if people saw his behavior. Batman knew that Rachel would never behave this way, and therefore he trusted Rachel more than Harvey to not only clean up Gotham, but keep it clean long term. There you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed What If Rachel Lived and Harvey Died? What are your thoughts? What would have been different if Batman had made the opposite decision? Was there anything I missed? Let me know in the comments below. And if you'd like more breakdowns, theories, top 5s and 10s, and entertainment fun, be sure to subscribe for more Yarns of Chaos.